Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1993's Nowhere to Run. Before we get started, if you want to follow me or Corey on Twitter, you could follow me at Junior D's. You could follow Corey at Corey_idol. And if you want to follow the show, you could follow the show on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Kiss the Reviews. Let's get into the cast of 1993's Nowhere to Run. This film stars Jean-Claude Van Damme as Sam Gillen, Rosanna Arquette as Clydie Anderson, Kieran Culkin as Mike Mookie Anderson, and Ted Levine as Mr. Dunston.
Kieran Culkin's character's name in this movie probably should have been Oedipus Rex, because he has a very, very, very unhealthy relationship with his mother. Like,
100%.
In a sexual manner. It's not appropriate.
No, this whole family dynamic is weird at best and is creepy as fuck at worst. And listen, there's a lot of, Mookie in this movie is like, I don't know, 8. His sister's like 5, let's say. They're incredibly young. It's not like they're teenagers making jokes about their mom banging people. They're 8 and 5 making jokes about their mom banging people and titties and penis talk, and there's a lot of just weirdness happening. And this is what happens when you homeschool your kids.
You were right.
The good news is they're going to be largely safe for quite some time, because even like Ghislaine Maxwell's like, yo, slow down, kid. It's too much. It's too much.
I don't want to hear any more about penises.
This is horrible. And this is why you send your kids to public school, so they can learn wrong things about sex from kids who are also not having sex. And like, that's how you learn as a child growing up. Okay. You're not, no sex ed classes with mom. Okay. Like,
no, dude. Let's just face facts. This brother and sister are on track to be on Pornhub in like 6-7 years. It's happening.
No, step bro.
Yeah, bad acting and all. Oh no, brother, because it's not Step Brother either. This is the real McCoy. This is the shit Nicolas Cage was finding at 8mm. It's not okay.
Yeah, no, it's not. It is not. But let's shift gears and get into this movie, shall we?
Let's.
Because even the premise of this movie is ridiculous. But I digress. Let's get into this. So this movie opens up with prisoners getting transported on a bus. Sam Gillen is one of said prisoners, and this dope-ass Trans Am cuts off the bus, forcing it to flip. And the man driving the car, who is Billy, forces the guard to let all the prisoners go. He gets JCVD. They escape in the car, and as they drive away, Billy gets shot in the neck by the guard and dies.
Yeah, which, first off, your plan is bullshit. Your plan is to potentially kill the guy you're trying to break out by causing a massive bus crash. Yes. That's fucking insane. Figure out another way. And then second, the guard here, who miraculously no prisoners have beat the shit out of, the guard makes one of the greatest shots ever known to sharpshooting.
Yes.
Because he takes this busted ass rifle and shoots the passenger in a driving car, driving away, going about 80-90 miles an hour. And he's like, I got him. That's fucking insane.
That dude is the shit, okay?
That dude is the real American Sniper. That's who the movie's based on.
Yes. But we then find out that JCVD and Billy were partners in this bank robbery, and Billy shoots the guard, and JCVD takes the blame for it, so he goes to jail, and like that's the whole backstory. And apparently the loot that they heisted is hidden on the land, this farmland of the Clydie Anderson, who owns this farm. Like, I didn't get this piece of
Well, I think the main portion here is he never looks for the money.
No. What he does is he sneaks up to the house. He does his like little peeping Tom routine.
Yeah, he's jerking off in the fucking window like his name was Mookie.
And then he goes inside to steal salt. And then the next scene is him in a tent and opening the box of loot. And it's like, okay, did you have the loot? Was the loot in the car? Or was it on the land? Why are we at this lady's house? Is what I want to know.
I'm going to take it a step further and say, why is this titled Nowhere to Run? You're literally on. Everybody has the chance to run. What the fuck are we doing?
This should be called Everywhere to Run.
Yeah, it should be called Just Leave.
No, this movie should have been about 5 minutes long.
For real.
Like, once he escapes and, he, like, kicks Billy out of the car because, he's dead. He just takes the Trans Am, gets the loot, and busts out.
Yeah, you got the cash. You're done. Like,
can we talk about the loot?
Done.
Can we talk about how much money they stole? Because there's probably only $2,000 in that little thing. It's a few stacks of 20s. He's acting like he's in Rounders, like he's got 10 stacks and he's going to the World Series of Poker tomorrow.
You were correct.
So after the salt shaker breaking into the house scene, of course, we cut to the land developer who needs Clydie's farm for this big project, and she's refusing to sell, and we have Chris Angel Cardfuck in the office, like that's his like thug, and like in every scene, and again,
would you rather get a great big fat girl?
I got a card behind your ears. Is it two clubs? That's your card?
Well, go on, pick a card.
I don't know why they made this dude like a magician too. And you have him, you have the cop who's supposed to be forcing Clydie off her land, but instead he's like, she's hot, I guess I'll just bang her and collect the money from the rich landowner developer guy.
Yeah, it's a really good plan, but he's going about it all wrong. And I think I got to offer this piece of advice.
Corey's Life Lessons.
Hi, Lonnies of the world. Uncle Corey here. So, things didn't quite work out after high school football. It happens. Happens to the best of us. Not me, because I did things with my life. But to a lot of people, it doesn't go right and you become a cop. Understand what you are. You were a big fish in a small pond. You are now a very tiny minnow in an ocean full of fucking predators. And you're walking around with your fucking cock slinging like it ain't no thing. You need to slow your roll and understand where you are in the food chain at this point. Because you have nothing to back you up.
No,
nothing.
Lonnie mentally is still banging cheerleaders under the bleachers. Like that's his character arc.
That's why he shows up at Clydie's house every night at like midnight. Like, hey, you ready for your finger blasting? Like the last time we scheduled that was between classes, dickhead.
And by the way, Lonnie, we're 30 now. Nobody fingers anybody at this age, okay?
You know that's all. All Lonnie's doing is fingering and dry humping. There's no real sex happening.
Hell yes.
In one of the next scenes, we see Lonnie trying to get Clydie out of her house, but, instead he's banging her. But he's having this conversation with her out on the front porch. And JCVD overhears the conversation because he's returning to the house to return the salt shaker.
He is very polite.
And the next scene, because, he goes in and, okay, he's like this bank robber. Like, he's this bad guy and yada yada, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously not very good at this particular activity because every time he breaks into their house to steal the salt shaker, to replace the salt, he's knocking shit over.
Mm-hmm.
Mookie thinks E.T.'s breaking into his house, and then he runs back out into his little tent in the woods. Mookie finds him, and JCVD is reading a top-heavy magazine.
He likes big titties.
You like boobs?
Sometimes.
No, I agree with you because the first time he walks into the house to steal the salt initially, he like bumps something when he's leaving.
Yeah.
Totally fine. Understandable. But by the time he goes back, it's like, motherfucker, you've broken into this house 50 times. You should know your way around.
Yes.
Like, you should know where everything is. You should be able to put groceries away, no problem, like they did in Kiss the Girls. Like, you should be basically Casanova at this point in this house.
Yes.
And you're still running into shit, you clumsy fuck, and you're the one that's going to save the day. You can't walk through a living room in the dark.
Yeah. And it's not even that dark. Let's face facts.
Jesus Christ, I wish you had somewhere to run.
The next morning, Mookie shows up, his sister shows up, and they find JCVD bathing in the pond, and they see his cock out. That's weird.
Just some Sunday cock gawking. No big deal.
It's okay. I gotta fucking don't do that. I have to here.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, kids. Real quick bit of advice, and parents as well. You can come to this conversation. Please teach your kids if you like to go camping, and because there might be some people who are bathing in the pond or the lake or wherever it is that you're camping. If you see a man coming out of the water, don't continue the conversation like, well, on Thursdays, mom picks us up from school and then drops us off and then we get to play with our the guy's dick is out. Kids, just turn, and JCVD here's a little slow. Adults coming out of a pond naked, okay? Cover your shit immediately. Like, he's very slow to cover his junk. This whole scene is a disaster, okay? And this is all don't do that's across the board in this scene.
Yeah, my main takeaway, because I walk around with my dick out everywhere too. If you look, that's your problem. That's a you problem, bro, not me. That being said, I have to add on and say this.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, everyone. Uncle Corey here. Don't bathe in a fucking pond. It's a pond.
Yeah.
It is dirty and mossy and gross. Don't bathe. That water isn't clean. You're now coming out of that pond, instead of smelling like a dirty person, like a fucking dirty pond.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
And you're going to have something in your pee hole. Just FYI.
You've got bacteria in every hole you got, cuz.
Yeah.
That's what they do in ponds.
I'm only concerned with my pee hole, guy.
Dog, if it ain't a shower, it better have motherfucking chlorine in it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. If it ain't a shower, I ain't taking it. I take showers. I don't care if we go back to old westerns and it's a bucket of water that you're bathing in. No, I'm a shower guy. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the end of that. But
unless there's a pool, then I'll just shower in a pool every day.
Exactly. But that night, Clydie gets attacked by some thugs, and JCVD shows up, saves her, and she then invites him in to stay in her barn, and eventually in her home, and into their hearts, really. I mean, that's what's happening here, really. They're inviting JCVD into their home and their hearts. And this is where we get the dinner scene with lots of penis talk.
He's got an average penis.
How do you know?
Because I saw it.
Already?
I get it. This isn't real life. These are actors playing roles. I don't care if my kid is an actor. If I look at the script and there's a line and my 5-year-old daughter has to say, "This guy's got a big penis," I'm like, yeah, we got to take that out of the script, folks. Like, I'm not comfortable with that line coming out of my daughter's mouth. And everybody at the table giggles at it like it's a funny. No, kids do say the darndest things, but when they talk about a grown man's dick, that's not the darndest thing, okay?
No, well, especially when you encourage it by being like, nah, it's an average penis.
I saw it too.
Hey, mom, shut the fuck up. And you might say, like, they invite him into their homes and their hearts and all this nice stuff, and that's great. I say this is severely dysfunctional because the husband died years ago, and you were all still grieving. So much so that you watch old videotapes of your fucking wedding, and your kid is making up stories about remembering shit his dad did. None of you have processed this death. And the first fucking guy that comes along and has a little bit of hero in him, you're like, and an average penis, you're like, you know what? You're our new dad. Welcome home, Dad. This is fucked up.
It is fucked up, and I'll be perfectly honest. My wife is still alive, and I don't know that we've ever watched our wedding video. I'll be honest. If I were so inclined, if my wife were to die, and memories, and let me go watch that. I don't know where that is. I couldn't find it. If you gave me $1 million, I don't even know where the hell that video is in the house.
No, I won all of my wedding tapes in the divorce so I could burn them in my effigy.
We get another scene here of Frank Hale, the land developer guy, trying to buy Clydie's land. And then one night, one of Clydie's neighbors, who won't sell his land either, has his barn set on fire, and JCVD comes to the rescue and pours water on the fire, whatever.
Dude,
Cool.
This is one of my favorite cliches in all of these TV shows, movies, whatever, that involves a small town. Is the one dipshit guy who's got too much pride and he's gonna say something and you ain't making me sell, mister. No way. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
This is a...
He deserved to die.
This is a high budget Hallmark movie. Totally. If you just make this setting at Christmas, then this is a Hallmark movie, is what this is. Hallmark, starring JCVD.
Yes, very much so.
So, and then after this, if this isn't, ridiculous enough, we then get Chris Angel mindfuck. He tries to intimidate JCVD in the hardware store as he tries to buy, parts and stuff because he's fixing up the motorcycle, the dad's motorcycle that he bought off of Clydie. And, Americans out there trying to intimidate people that might have an accent. And I know we rip on JCVD, but he's like, oh, what are you buying here? What are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm fixing my motorcycle. And he's like, a motorcycle? What's that? What's a motorcycle?
It's not for a car. A motorcycle.
It's a what?
Motorcycle.
Is that a great big fat motorcycle? Where's the motorcycle? Where's that? This scene pissed me off so much, and he's like, I don't understand what you're saying, Frenchie. You ain't from around here. And JCVD says, yeah, you ain't from around here either, because you sound like you're from another planet.
You sound like you've been throat fucking cartons of Marlboro Reds for the last 20 years, bro.
You were correct.
The thing that got me was, and again, I don't know if this is an American thing or what, but it's like, this is the guy.
Yeah.
As Ted Levine, that this is the guy who whooped ass on all your thugs. The night before, he went in and he saved the farm, yada, yada. And so you think a dash of xenophobia is going to be the thing that's like, uh-oh, I bet he's out of town. He's got me. And that's the difference between us and Ted Levine here is Teddy Boy is trying to force somebody out of town with his xenophobia. Whereas our xenophobia is used out of love and humor.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to just know how to channel it, bro.
We then get more of JCVD stopping thugs from ruining Clyde's farm. And, he beats up, and I don't even know what they're doing here. They're pouring like oil on her shit. And he comes out and he's like, hiya. Here's another little thing, and nitpicking. But this isn't, set, like Kevin Costner isn't in this. There is no baseball theme to this movie. But for some reason, he kicks the shit out of the one guy and he's like, 3 strikes, you're out, after he hits him with the fucking 2x4.
Strike 3, you're out.
Just a random baseball reference?
Not outside of the overall plot, not a lot of thought went into much else. Because I keep going back to the title, Nowhere to Run. When you literally, they're just like, yo, we're going to give you money for this land. All you have to do is leave. And she's like, nah, I got nowhere to run to. Yeah, you do.
It's literally everywhere.
Yeah, anywhere you want to go with the money he's paying you for this land. By the way, you can also afford now to get your kids in public school and therapy.
Lonnie here then finds out that JCVD isn't Clydie's cousin, because that's what she's told everybody. And he beats him and tells him to leave Clydie alone because, I don't know, he loves her or whatever. And JCVD has other plans because Clydie comes home, she takes care of him, and he and Clydie go to Pound Town after this. Like, he takes a severe beating from Lonnie. And I've never been hit with a nightstick in the back several times. I'm assuming he's kind of like beaten, bruised, and battered all along the back.
Yeah, I know it's the kidney and urine and stuff, and you pee blood when your kidneys get hurt. You also cum blood when your kidneys get beat the shit out of with a goddamn nightstick. He looks like fucking Dracula here when he's coming. Are you kidding me? This is disgusting. They should not be doing this.
I want the bukkake on your face.
1, 2, 3. 3 ropes.
So Lonnie then finds out that JCVD is an escaped convict. He tells him to leave. He doesn't put him under arrest. He doesn't like tip off the FBI. And he tells the landowner here, like, I'm doing you a favor. Like, we can't have FBI snooping around here. So I just went and told him he needs to leave. And then once he leaves, we could take the land. And Lonnie saved the day. And I could bang the girl and make money and whatever. Cool.
Yeah, little does he know in about 10 years, Kieran Culkin is killing whoever is banging his mom so he can take over.
Yes. JCVD then tells Clydie here the truth about his past. He decides to leave, but after Franklin Hale turns him into the cops, we get this police chase with horses, dirt bikes, and every other off-road vehicle you can think of. That the police. This is a small town, is it not? This isn't like New York City. This is like small town Midwest. I don't know of any small town that has this many vehicles for you got a cop car and you might have a motorcycle cop. And that's it. That's your budget. These sons of bitches got like Sea-Doos on dry land for some reason and dirt bikes, and none of them say police. It's just like a red dirt bike.
Oh yeah, that's because they had to call in the fucking militia for this one. It's time, boys.
Oh my god, I took my son's dirt bike.
They got excited. They said, it's time, boys. We're storming the cabin. No, we're going to kill a Frenchie. Oh, fuck. All right,
that'll work.
Can I still ride my Sea-Doo in the desert? Yes, Bob, ride your goddamn Sea-Doo. It was a whole thing.
So thugs then break into Clydie's house to rough her up and have her sign the paperwork to sell her house. Mookie gets away. Sam finds him by the barn, and he then goes into full JCVD kick-ass mode here. He kicks Chris Angel's ass outside, and Hale is then caught because during this whole melee, he puts a gun to Clydie's head. When every cop in America shows up, they place him under arrest, and then JCVD decides to turn himself into the police and tells Clydie and the kids that he promises to be back and I'll live with you and we'll be happy on the farm and you don't have to sell. And my favorite is the very last, well, there's two things at the very end. One, they arrest Hale, right? Mm-hmm. They got him in cuffs, but they just never put him in the cop car.
No, they wanted to see the whole breakdown.
Because you have to have the final, do you know who I am? You got to have that. So the cops just arrest him and they're like, you just stay here because we need you and JCVD to be face to face for the end of this thing. We need resolution.
how great would it have been if Hale at the end, well, like all the cops showed up and he did a callback from Lethal Weapon 2 and he's like, diplomatic immunity. That'd have been the shit.
That would have been the shit. But then we get the freeze frame at the end as he's got like his hand on the cop car window, like he's waving.
Pound it, bro. Pound it.
Dude,
Pound it through the glass, man.
This movie is so ridiculous.
You also skipped over the huge payoff, like the payoff of all payoffs when we're talking about a good guy, bad guy fight, which is once Ted Levine gets shot, his magic cards fly everywhere. Great.
Dude, one of these writers, either Ted Levine or one of the writers or the director. Those are the only three that definitely had a hand in this. But somebody made that decision that this guy was like, used to be a magician and he couldn't make any money, so now he's like a thug, but he uses magic to, like, I don't know, scare people or whatever. Like, somebody made that decision for this movie with, again, zero context. There's no bad, like, he used to be a magician or whatever the hell. He just randomly, and then he puts like the card in Lonnie's money.
Which, how did he even do that? Still don't understand how he pulled that trick off. Like, you
magic.
You picked his pocket, put the card in, then put it back. That's fucking crazy. That's insane. Just
That's
to
magic.
show you know how to do magic. Yeah, I feel like this was probably, I'm going to blame this one on JCVD and give him the writing credit, because he's like, you made me a mime in the quest, and we must forget this ever happens. Let's give the bad guy a magician.
I like that. I
think that's the only plausible explanation.
Again, JCVD in this one doesn't have a writing credit. What I found funny about the writers listed, and I won't give you their names, but there are like 4 writers attached to this movie. It took 4 people to write this.
Usually what that means is a writer had the script originally, and then they got let go, and somebody came in for a treatment, and then they got let go, and somebody else came in, and so on and so forth until you got the 4 writers. And that's usually when scripts become a bit of a fuckery.
Yes.
Because it's just not the same guy's original idea, or the same 2 guys even.
Yeah.
4 different guys. That's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. So, yeah, but I mean, listen, again, we've done a slew of JCVD movies. I don't like a lot of them. And this one, it's venturing close to the top of the list, because this one is just, it's an hour and 24 minutes, or an hour and 35 minutes, whatever it is, of just pure ridiculousness from front to back.
Yeah, I like this one. I like this one the best of all because of Rosanna Arquette.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
Like, I found that my 2 favorites were like Maximum Risk and this, and that's because the 2 leads show their breasts. And I appreciated that. That held my attention for enough for the rest of the movie.
You were just waiting for more tit. That's all you're waiting for.
Well, look, dude, I mean, this guy has no problem showing his dick to little kids, but we can't see it. You're not going to show me that fucking big sweaty hog. I got to get something somewhere, right?
Hell yes.
Well, that's all I got. Do you have anything else?
No, I got somewhere to run.
We both got somewhere to run. So, well, in that case, we'll just end it here. So, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1993's Nowhere to Run.